Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Technocrats, where we talk about the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. I am your host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z. And of course, I'm sitting next to the brainiac himself, Mr. Jonathan Davis. Jay, what's up, brother?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right, Mr. Gary, man. Just got a lot of projects, things we're trying to close out before the summer. We know we're approaching the holiday, summer break, and also approaching the holiday next week. So just trying to close out a few things there at Astro Tesla. But what's been going on with you in the Sphere?
Man, just a lot of growth, brother. Just a lot of growth. You know, good shows coming out. Make sure you check out G is for Gentlemen, one of our latest shows here on the network. But other than that, man, just steady growing. You know, in the midst of ready to getting ready to move. So a lot of great things, a lot of good growth. Just the process, man. Sticking with the process.
Yes, it's definitely seeing success, and we appreciate all those who are supporting us to help us reach our success as we continue to grow in subscribership. And we appreciate the feedback, and also appreciate you all sharing our content with others as well.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, this is a great week, man. It's a great week for tech. For those that are watching right now, what's up? For those that are on Facebook Live, what's up? Hit the share. If you've got emails, you got some elongated stuff you don't want to shoot over on Twitter, you don't want to shoot in our DMs on Instagram, hit us up via email, technocrats@thesphere.tv. We'll answer your questions right there. Of course, if you're on Facebook Live, we go to first 15 minutes. And you can ask any questions you have right in Facebook Live, and we'll answer them for you. But it's been an exciting week in tech, man, simply because of E3, which is funny because we had Derek on last week, and then E3 was this. So I was like, man, we had like just a week too soon. But it is what it is. But still, a lot of excitement always surrounds E3, and we've got some of the best news. Over time, you know, over the last 5 years, E3 has been that pivotal place to drop some of the best gems, you know?
Right.
But it didn't seem like it happened this year, man. What's your thoughts on E3 2017?
Okay, my first impression was that I thought it was going to be blockbuster, but instead it turned out to be lackluster. And, I mean, of course, a lot of the things that was announced was very obvious. And in this social media age, so many things now leaked out, unfortunately. So it's really nothing really to look forward to be really excited about, or to say, wow, did you see this or see that? Of course, you had the big three game consoles there, the Sony PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Nintendo. But outside of that, we got a lot of good announcements from Nintendo. As you can see there on the Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch broke the sales records when they released back in early this year, and they still have a ways to go to reach the record that they did with the Nintendo Wii, but they hope to reach sales higher than what they did with the Wii U. But We see a lot of announcements with the Mario Odyssey, the Metroid, and I forgot it's another little role-playing game that looked pretty decent there on their console. But unfortunately, the problem is that a lot of these games that they did mention a slew of a lot of games, it's just not coming out to next year, 2018. So it's kind of like a teaser for Nintendo, and that was one of the ones I was really expecting, since they would really go hard this year at E3. But what did you take from it, though?
I mean, I sit right where you're at, man. It's like you inundate us with video games, which I think is cool, right?
Yeah.
But if there's no good balance of gaming, of hardware versus software at E3, it just feels like a video game conference,
Right?
More so than a true electronics conference or true entertainment conference where we've seen, new consoles, we've seen new hardware, we've seen people push the gambit for things that they want to bring to this entertainment sphere, so to speak, no pun intended.
Yes.
But you didn't get that,
Right.
You did get some great games. Obviously, for those that are watching right now, you see great games from E3. BioWare put up this new game called Anthem, which looks phenomenal.
Yes,
So
it
I'm
does.
excited to play some of these things, and I think that the graphics out there are getting better. And the big word of today right now is 4K.
Yes.
So everything is all about the 4K, and as you see, you've got this 4K content rolling. But one of the biggest things I would say to come from this, if it's because the rest to me was lackluster, right? You got great gaming, okay, cool, but what are you doing with these games?
Right.
Where are you putting these games?
Right.
And it's all about the console. Right now, we're in a hardware centric situation. We talked about WWDC, Apple's latest hardware, their Mac Pro plus their new iPads.
Yes.
Added with the proper software like a Metal, things like that. We see that we get the AR push that we're looking for, but all of that comes from a hardware perspective.
Right.
So because of that, I want to make sure that you all know, for those that are watching us right now, for those that are tuned in, it takes both. It takes two to make a thing go right. That's what they say, right? So
Yes.
It takes your hardware, it takes your software. And I cannot wait to put my hands on the new Xbox One X.
Yes.
Now, here's my thing, man, because obviously I had to get through all that. Let's make sure we get that muted, good sir. The biggest thing for me, obviously, is 4K,
Right.
right? The crisp image, 4K is the new 1080p.
Right.
When you were stuck on 480i and
Yes.
480D,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, or,
Yeah.
or 480p rather.
Yes.
But so moving over to the new Xbox, I think that to me is the only thing that really saved E3. But I will say this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the hardware, you got the firepower, and for those that are watching us, you're seeing some of the pieces from that. But new Xbox One X, everything's 4K at a $499 price tag, right? So you're going to pay those dollars. November 7th release.
Yes.
So that makes sense. 8 gigs of flash memory, a terabyte of hard drive space, and 12 gigs of RAM. I mean, to me, it's a powerful device. And I think that we are at a point right now, and you notice, same controller, right?
Yes.
Same controller.
Yes.
You got all the backwards compatibility. You got everything else. So to me, the only big boost is obviously firepower, so that you can push this 4K content. I don't see anything else. They didn't announce anything else that really excited me outside of the fact that it was just 4K.
Right. And of course, one of the biggest things that can change your gaming experience is the visuals. But at this point in time, I felt like there should have been something to make it a little bit more interactive.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed how that Connect port is not on there. So I don't know if we can get back to that video, that screenshot, but I don't see a designated port for Connect. I didn't notice it unless I overlooked it. And that's got me wondering now, where is Microsoft planning on going? Because we saw the SDK kit, and I had a chance to play with that SDK kit with the Connect. And we saw the original from Xbox 360. The Connect enables you to do so much and so many great things, but it's never really been leveraged by the developers and the gamers to give you that different type of experience. I know it's not like being inside that fictitious world with the VR, but the Kinect being able to scan yourself into the multiplayer games or scan yourself into Madden to see yourself or NBA 2K and other type of games and genres, or scan a sword or weapon into the game. I mean, I thought that was still something that they should keep going on each title that releases, and you just see less and less support for the for the Kinect now. And also too, like you say, the only thing you saw was the big boost in graphics in the show. That's why I felt the show was lackluster, because it was always something we already knew about. Yeah. We already knew about the Xbox. We just didn't know the price and the official name that it was going to have. Yeah. And other than that, I felt like Nintendo dropped the ball again, because they could have really came out and said, hey, we taking it to a whole nother level, and these are the games we're releasing later this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. And it even sombers my mood, right? Because, like, man, you look forward to E3 every year from a gaming perspective. For gamers out there, I know y'all are watching, y'all are tuned in. Don't y'all look forward to E3? You look forward to some of the great things that are happening. But if it makes no sense to continue to push forward with, trying to dive deep into it when all it is gaming, right? When you don't give a good balance of the hardware. And as I mentioned, I think that's where you have the problem at. You've got to be able to have both the hardware and the software. You've got to be able to give people what they need. Nintendo, you just came out with the Switch. Where are all the great Switch accessories? Where are all the great Switch capabilities? Why not take the Switch to the next level? And everything's moving AR, VR. So you've got great opportunities. You could have did some AR stuff with the Switch. If it had a camera on the back, that would have been dope. So a lot of different things that were available, just missed opportunities. And same way with Xbox. Like, you could have showed us some of the VR capabilities or AR capabilities on screen. You could have continued that excitement, but nothing.
Yes, I agree.
Nothing.
Right, and
lackluster.
Definitely lackluster.
Gave us a bad episode.
It was. Yes, it was a total letdown. But let's hear a word from our sponsors. This portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being for our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team will work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Ashandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness. Phone at 713-789-8680.
There it is. And, of course, say the Sphere, and you get 10% off. You can't beat that. Yes. Hey, why not? Yes. Save a little money.
Yes.
Save a little money for your honey. All right. So, I want to move out of E3 simply because that's how, and that's a shame, man. I remember wanting to stay in E3.
Yeah, I know.
But I want to move out because there's not enough great content. And it doesn't make sense for us to sit here and bore y'all with some E3 stuff that was just pretty much boring.
Right.
So, new Xbox, new games, Metroid, you got some stuff on Nintendo. EA's got some great stuff coming out. BioWare's got some great stuff coming out. Gaming, that's what it is. E3, maybe they should have a mobile or a separate E3 that's just, or do a day of just whatever. I don't know. We're gonna move past that.
Yes.
So let's talk about some productivity. Let's talk about some things that you may care about. First and foremost, I want to talk about backup. And sometimes, when we build these shows for you, what we call our runner show, there are things that are happening in our environment that make us think, what do we want to share with people to help them? One of the things I want to share with you right now is something that Google Drive is making a change on, and that's being able to move over to backup and sync. So Google Drive will now allow you to back up your entire computer simply by making some additional changes or setting changes on what files and folders you want to back up. So no longer will you be required to simply put files into this one folder that Google owns. Now, let me paint the picture. If you've got an account that's at gmail.com, whatever it is, super sexy 69, whatever you got, I don't care, at gmail.com, right? You have access to about 15 gigs of free backup through Google Drive. Now you can say, okay, well, I want that backup to be my documents, my desktop, my downloads, or my folder, my pictures, or my music, or whatever. But you've got free access to be able to back up and store your data. So at an event your computer crashes, you got a backup in the cloud. Jay, how you feel about this, man?
I think it's another great move from Google, the company that makes so much money for advertising and analyzing your data. And it's exactly what they're going to do. I don't know what type of privacy contract or agreement they're going to write up, but I just don't see them now. Instead of just following your search engine, they're going to have access to everything that's stored in your computer. But is it going to be in a secure container from Google? Or are they going to be able to scan and search for metadata?
Look at you with the hard-hitting questions.
That's
secure containers and metadata. I see you.
That's what I'm thinking Google has in plan, to really know what's going on with that user.
Yeah.
And if they can get their hands on that data, they can say, well, we're not going to reveal your actual name.
Sure.
Things like that, but they still got the data.
Oh, yeah.
And they still got your age from your birthday when you did the account, and your geographic location. And if you felt anything out about your education, I mean, they know enough.
There's a win-win.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're getting something from this. It ain't just store your data and they're not. Yeah, they're getting something, definitely. But for the average user who's not concerned about this,
yes,
hey, here's an opportunity to back up your device for free, 15 gigs, and you're not required to stay in one particular folder. I think that's dope.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's great. And what I foresee is them doing deployments to the Chromebook from your sign-in. So you have your whole computer. You know how we do with the VDI. I feel like you're gonna have your whole entire computer will be deployed on a sign-on from the cloud services to your new Chromebooks. I think that's where they're going.
Yeah, to me that makes sense, and I think that we should promote the idea from an IT perspective of continuing to tell people, for those that are watching, you sitting on your couch on your Apple TV and you're watching this podcast, or you're listening in your car right now, or you're still watching on Facebook Live, which we're about to cut. Hey, back up your device. Take advantage of this. June 28th, a couple of weeks away. It's right around the corner. You're going to be able to utilize free storage that you may not even be utilizing right now to back up some of your most prized possessions, i.e. your photos and your music, because that's what most people care about nowadays.
Exactly, yes.
The photos and your music.
Right.
But as I mentioned, as I gave a little teaser, Facebook Live, we love you. We adore you. Victoria, thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, Super
Victoria.
Sexy 69. Thank you so much for tuning in and hitting that share button. We always appreciate your patronage,
yes,
madam. But make sure everyone who's watching, for those that see this after we're live, make sure you hop over and subscribe. Subscribe over at thesphere.tv/Technocrats. Hit one of those buttons at the top, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, or Stitcher for our tech folks. And of course, while you're there, make sure you review. Let us know how we're doing. Hit those stars. Leave some constructive criticism. That way we know how to prepare a great show for you. And of course, while we're doing that as well, share this out with your colleagues, your friends, your fiance, your loved ones, the haters.
Yes.
Share it with everybody. Everybody gets some. Like Oprah say, you get some Technocrats and you get some Technocrats. And of course, we're growing. We're continuing to push our culture forward. We've got more shows, so much more coming down the pipe here at the Sphere. So, it's so crazy, but we need your help. Go over to thesphere.tv/donate. We've got two different options for you. Single donation as well as a Patreon donation. If you want to do a subscription, $2 a month, $3 a month, anything that helps us continue to provide great content for you. So once again, Facebook Live, we will see you all later. This show will be up later tonight. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
All right. Keeping this party rolling. Yes. Google Drive becomes Google Backup and Sync. Love it. Now, let's move over to something a little bit more sinister and move from the news over into our digital trends, right? So our digital trends is a section where we talk a lot about things that are happening in society today that have become a staple and are continuing to move. One of those things, a couple of those things that we talk about, one in particular is the ability to move away from that old school cable subscription that you got, right? So let's talk a little bit about some of the big time players. And we've talked about them individually. We've talked about the YouTube Live
Right.
that's coming in particular areas. We've talked about PlayStation View. We've talked about Sling TV. We've talked about, your standards, your Netflix and Hulu. But let's mash them all up and let's talk about this continuous, this very treacherous cord cutting battle.
Yes.
So what we have up on the screen right now is basically a cage fight. You've got some of your big time players that are going head to head, and we want to talk about some of the big differences for those that may not truly understand the whole concept of cord cutting. Now on the screen, we're going to scroll up a little bit, and there's a graphic that kind of shows us exactly what those different items are that each one of these particular platforms will offer you. So starting from the top, obviously, is the pricing. That's the biggest thing. Am I right, Jay?
Yes.
When it comes to cord cutting, we're going to pause for a second. When it comes to cord cutting, tell me what your thoughts is. How important is the pricing model for getting your stuff?
Well, it's going to be a fixed rate for one thing. And then, too, it's not going to have all those different hidden fees that everyone is mentioning now in their marketing campaigns for the cellular companies and the cable companies. How you was told $49.99 a month, but then it ended up being $100 a month.
Yeah, yes.
But you're not going to experience that here. Yeah. And then, too, you're not paying for additional receivers and things like that. So if it says $50 a month, it's going to be $50 every month.
Yes.
And I think that's what helps people be able to do their budget. And then they have access to their content everywhere they go. So I think the pricing is huge for anyone who's trying to stay within a certain budget for entertainment. Because that's all this TV is entertainment. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. So, and we're going to go back to this chart here, and we'll start with PlayStation View. So for those that are watching, you can see this. For those that are listening right now, PlayStation View ranges anywhere from $40 for regular access. They have a slim access at $30. So we'll say $30 a month all the way up to $75 a month. And we're talking, your basic 45 plus channels all the way up to 90 channels, including HBO and Showtime. So it kind of depends on what you want. Now, Sling TV, which I am a user of, you got the Sling Orange at $20 a month, Blue, and then their Orange Plus Blue, which goes up to about $45 a month, plus some additional add-on packages, just depending on what you want to do. Now, DirecTV Now is $35 a month for about 60 channels, and then they go all the way up to $70 a month for double that, 120 plus channels. YouTube Live being at $35 a channel, and then Hulu being at $40. So roughly right there,
Yes.
for you as a consumer now have a firm understanding that you can get 35 to 60 channels off rip. So your basic channels, half of which you probably don't even care about, if
Right.
we could be honest. But you're going to get that at a $40 price point. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, cable's $80-$90, satellites $100 when you add on the taxes, fees, equipment rentals, all that stuff.
That's true, and it was because I'm glad you just mentioned that. But I was just about to say, if you remember, it's been a long time, but I think standard cable was about $30 to $40. Because you look at these prices, all of them average out around $35 for starting off for a standard package. But I don't know what all program. You have to look at what programming that you're receiving. Of course, they're going to charge more for the HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Action Network, things like that. But however, $35 is not really that much for these channels. They give you digital content, and you can view it on not just your TV at home, but you can view it on your tablet and your mobile device phone, anywhere you want to go. And I think looking at this pricing comparison and the channel lineup, I'm trying to come to see which one is more favorable to me, because I do like the fact that some of them offer the cloud DVR features.
I was just about to go there, because that's important, right?
Yes.
That is so important. So let's dive into that.
Yes.
So for those that are watching, we're going to put this back up for you. There's a section that's called cloud DVR, right? So basically DVR, digital video recorder. Now, it's a little shaky, whereas first and foremost, DirecTV is not even offering a cloud DVR. So that for some is death.
Yes.
Right. So you thought you were doing good with a couple of 100 hours, 50 hours. And that's what you're getting from Sling TV and Hulu with Live TV. PlayStation View ups the ante and says, you know what, we're going to let you keep stuff for up to 28 days. So almost a full month. But that's when YouTube comes into play, and they say, you know what, you can keep your content up for 9 months strong. 9 months of DVR storage, Jay. Come on, bro. Like, I don't know if I have 9 months worth of content I even want to watch.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's so many people coming into this game over the last few years. And you remember when we first started this show and the podcast, there was like really one or two major players. We were talking about Hulu going live pretty soon. Sling, of course, had a footing for a good long time now, reliable. And then we talked about the PlayStation Vue. We actually featured them. But now they see the DirecTV, then the YouTube, then I think it's a room. I forgot who else. Verizon, I heard, is supposed to be coming.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Verizon is coming into the game too. So it's like gonna be 7 different people for you to choose from to get content. And what's gonna separate them? Because all of them are giving you basically the same pricing. So for you being a consumer, we're considering this chart, looking at some of the different feature sets that they have to see what can help you make a good decision as to what you want to invest in. Or are you ready to break the cable cord? Some people don't want to cut that cord.
You're right. I think you're holistically correct. Some people don't want to cut that cord. You know what's funny? I feel like a lot of people we become creatures of habit. You know, we just get stuck and be like, I'm paying this $150 bill. I don't want to move. I don't want to go through and do the due diligence of the research that we're doing for them right now. Let alone the inconvenience of having to now learn how to watch something differently. I think that's where you get a lot of people caught up at.
Yes, but I have a thought, but I must share this advertisement. This portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as in modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is sure to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv.
There it is. Boom. So, what did you say? You had a thought that you wanted to share.
Okay, what I foresee.
All right.
This is me putting my prediction hat on. If a lot of the cable companies don't try to offer, like you see DirecTV is offering this streaming solution, if a lot of those other ones don't get into the game soon enough, I feel like as many more people, defect away from the card, being under the card and the cable, that these prices are going to pretty much end up being the same thing as having a cable and a card. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at it right now. I'm really just getting deep into this, and when I see the only thing I can see the advantage is I'm really probably much, because really this is kind of like standard cable with a few other channels. So that's about $10-15 that you're saving. But the only other thing I can see is that maybe a big, huge game changer for others is the portability or the mobility you have for accessing your TV. You're streaming it. But right now, I don't really see a big thing for its price. If for these standard packages, the channels that they are giving you, because I feel like the Comcast and the Time Warners or whatnot are going to basically try to get their prices to tailor to this if they can't get an online streaming presence.
I feel that.
So I feel like these prices are going to creep up to where they end up being, because if the cable companies leave and say, okay, we're just going to invest our dollars into the streaming thing, they're going to creep these prices up. So I'm hoping that someone like Sling that's already solidified in this space, or someone else will come in and say, hey, no, we're going to give you a deal that you can't refuse.
Well,
and who do you think that would be? Who do you think can come? Who do you think that can come into this space? Do you think of Google? Or do you think
well, Google's already here,
right in the files? Well, I mean, like I'm really
I'm talking about with YouTube Live.
Yeah, YouTube Live, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really talking about Apple.
I don't know, man.
They got the Apple TV app, and they sync you everything with all the different providers, and you single sign on.
And that's why I don't know, because they missed that boat. Remember,
Right.
there was all this talk about them working with content providers. And they couldn't come up with a deal, because Apple always want to cut, like they want to make some money.
Right.
So and I get that, but they had everything lined up to be able to do that, and instead of them being able to offer live TV service, they ended up building that app, the TV app,
right?
Which maybe one day they will bring in things to the TV app, which kind of circumvent a lot of other things that are already on there. But I don't see them beating some of the current lineup, especially from my two big one with video on demand that we talked about, right?
The cloud DVR.
The cloud DVR. Being able to watch stuff on demand as you want it, right? So you don't necessarily have to catch the DVR. You don't necessarily have to catch it live. Plus the ability to be able to pause, rewind, and fast forward. On PlayStation, you can do it on all the channels. On YouTube, you can do it on all the channels. Everybody else is limited. Plus, you get 5 streams per account on your PlayStation View and 3 streams on your YouTube. So to me, those are your number 1 and number 2. Other than that, it was just finding out what. And doing a deep dive on the actual channels that they list, comparing the ones that you do want versus the ones you don't want.
Right.
But other than that, like, I don't see Apple coming in the game beating those two offerings. Not at $30 a month. I just don't see them.
No, I really can't even see that now. I feel like you say, it's really kind of too late. But I see them I say it's too late for them to come in now, because some people are probably going to be signed up and used to the interfaces and used to doing business with these other content providers. Mm-hmm. But for someone making it very unique with the new Apple TV release, or actually coming out with a TV, this Apple could have really came and cemented just about all that people with a subscription, like they have the iTunes or Apple Music.
3 years ago,
Apple
they
TV,
did this.
the Apple TV subscription service.
Mm-hmm. 4 years ago, they could have did that and that would have given more use and more desire for the Apple TV
and the iPads, the iPad Pro, and the other phones that you want to.
When you roll that app out, that's because it should have already been baked in.
Right.
Then boom, you release the TV app for all these other devices. Now it makes it easier for people to sign up and add more who don't have the Apple TV.
Right.
So that would have been a no-brainer, but. Once again, Apple misses the boat when it comes to video. For whatever reason, they keep missing the boat when it comes to video.
Yeah, so I concur. PlayStation View and YouTube seem like the 2 strongest content providers right now.
Yeah,
and Sling coming third.
And I tried to sign up for YouTube. It's not available here in Texas.
Yeah.
I was a little upset, but it's not available here. So whatever. Let us know what you all think. Hit us up, Technocrats at thesphere.tv. Or hit us up on social media at The Sphere TV, #Technocrats, because we want to know, which one are you using? What do you think works best? Do you think Apple missed the boat with the TV app, or do you think that's something they're working on that's going to come back and it's going to be better than ever? Either way, we shall see. Yes. Now, let's stay within our digital trends. And let's talk about something new that Intel is working on, and it's their new project, Wigig. Now, we've been talking VR for a while, AR, all those things, but looks like Intel has said, you know what? We're going to partner with HTC. We're going to cut this cord, since we're talking about cord cutting, and really give you a look at what it means to be hands-free in VR. Now, cord-free in VR. Now, I'm for this 1,000%, right? Because this puts us back into the situation of having a usable space. When you think about all the other things that we've seen in technology, right? You think about what we've seen with some of the newer items that will be able to track items that are, tracking items. Mm-hmm. Some of the new VR pieces that are able to look at a room and map a room out so that you know what the room space is. Now you're taking VR and you're making it fully wireless with no lag. And so now that experience just goes up to the next level. And, we talked about this with, at some point, cell phones will be gone. We'll be just with glasses and things like that, things that you wear. This is a great push into that same scope of things, because you're talking about having this device that just sits on your face and puts you in this VR sphere, so to speak, and boom, you're there.
Yes. And the VR is really taking off in the NFL, especially for quarterback clubs and quarterback training. It was a show that came on. I forgot the off-season show, and they follow a certain team, and I think the team they followed most recently was the Arizona Cardinals. And looking at how much he praised the VR headset, helping him to be able to see different things when he's as soon as he come out of the huddle, when he's in the lines and changing formations and calling the audibles and different reads and seeing his timing and seeing what's going on in defense. And so it's really has a great solid footing. But going back to when you can be without having to, you can be free just with the visual aspect of the headset and the sensors that they have. As you see on the screen now, the Vive, you know this is just first, second gen. This is going to be reduced in form factor to a smaller size.
Sure.
And it's going to look more aesthetically pleasing. Yet, I'm still don't think anyone really has it on lock yet.
Okay, so dive deep into that. Let's have that talk. What do you mean?
Okay, it seems like right now it's too many. Okay, it's early tech, but it's not really early tech. If you have been out, we talked about that before on other show. If you have been back out 10, 20 years ago and it got resurrected again. Now with these goggles and headset, there's so many different people making them.
True.
I think it needs to come out who's going to be the main big three. I think really when it comes to tech, you're really going to really have 3 or maybe 4 people who really are going to be the main ones that you get things from.
Who's your main big 3 right now?
For tech?
For VR.
But that's
goggles.
the thing right now. I know Samsung. I mean, I know Google doing their things. I know HTC Vive, and then I know when it comes to the AR, it's the HoloLens. After hearing the rumor about the new second gen HoloLens, they're supposed to be debuting. But anyway, I really don't feel like no one has got established yet to be the big 3. That's the thing. I feel like right now we got an announcement every 2 months or so of someone else coming out with the new VR headset. And I feel like Intel really don't care about standardizing because they selling the hardware, the processors, and the electronic components for all of them. So it's a win-win for them anyway. They don't care who
or
name
NVIDIA.
on.
Either one of them. As long as y'all build it, we're good.
Yeah, they get paid off. If it says Sony, if it says Microsoft, whoever, they get a cut off everyone that gets sold anyway. So with that being said, I just don't feel like it's anyone yet that I can say, okay, these are the ones to watch, and this is the ecosystem that I want to stay in for VR. And then with Apple with their conference, with that little teaser with Metal showing us that Star Wars, I don't see Apple doing that with no HTC in the future or anything. I just feel like they're gonna do their own thing as well. So that's why I say right now it's like it's still too early to know for us putting your investment, and it's still like a lot of things hasn't been standardized yet for VR. To know, we're the early adopters. We are like it's still beta to me. When it comes to a lot of things, unless you're in a specific thing, using it for the industrial, using it for some of the health science that we saw people who are using every day in productivity in real time, or like the NFL quarterback. Yeah, those things right there, it's solid and it's running and they're getting data from that. But like everything else, it seems like it's something like a fad still. It hasn't got to the point to me where this is going to be my go-to thing here and I can do this and do that. Because the Sony PlayStation VR is not doing well as we thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
So it's not really anything I can put to you and say, hey, these are the top 3 doing so-and-so, because every other 2 months or so, it's a new VR headset that's out or someone else trying to do this. I haven't really got anything to say this is what I want to buy. I want to get this yet. I don't know if you got that experience or not. Like,
well, I one, the price points are up there. $700 for a VR kit. With controllers and stuff like that. Like, I'm not about that life right now.
Right.
To me, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make good financial sense.
Right.
But my top 3, obviously, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift. And that third spot is kind of open between LG and what they want to do with Steam, which makes sense if you can, but you've got to do it right and to be able to access Steam and stream all these games, because now you got this infinite library, which means you need the bandwidth, which means you need the internet access. So there's a lot of things that go into place to do that. HoloLens, to me, almost took a L from Apple when they showed their AR through the iPad. So it's like HoloLens should have been where Apple is today a year ago. And so it's like, and then when you hear about their field of view, and obviously they're redoing that, but they have to.
Right.
So it's like, and then Google Daydream, it's like you promised us this big platform, this new VR experience, like this is your go-to for VR being in Daydream, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Right.
Not,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's not, it's just not.
Right.
And as you mentioned with PlayStation, it is what it is there. So you don't really have anything outside of Oculus Rift and HTC Vive right now that feel or look like these are they're using HTC Vives to test new VR stuff. So
Right.
it's like they have become these standards, them and Oculus. But when will it come down to the consumer where it makes sense? And until you can make sense to the consumer, you're always going to feel like a beta test.
Right, exactly.
it.
That's what I feel, and that's why it's like there's no one I really want to invest in right now. And
Yeah.
like I mean, it's exciting. We've seen all these new announcements, but it's still not there yet. It's still beta.
Yeah, it is. And part of that is because of the cost. You know,
Yeah.
if you can't regulate the cost, if you can't get the money down, then you're gonna have those problems. You know, like I said, who wants to go spend $7.99 for a VR kit just so I can be in this experience for 20, 30 minutes? The
Right.
money is not right. It's
Right.
not gonna make sense. And for those that are looking to get your money right, holla at Houston Housewives of Finance.
There you go.
So, hey, that's what we do. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 millions of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough money in their savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or send them an email over to info@HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com. Ask them how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. So yeah, get your money right, people, and these businesses. Get these prices down, man.
Yes.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man. But you know what, Jay? It is what it is. What a week in tech.
Yes.
But still somewhat lackluster from E3. Yay, we get a new Xbox, so it looks good on your new TV, but give me new features. The most exciting thing I think we talked about is the Google Drive being able to back up your device.
Yeah, we really didn't much this week. Yeah,
it's a light week, but that's okay because that's why we're here.
Yes.
We're here to give you the news, and we make lemons out of lemonades, but if somebody hits you with one, throw back watermelons. That's what we do here at the Sphere and at Technocrats. Jay, let the people know where they can reach you at, man.
Hey, y'all continue to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AstroTesla80. And if you have any questions, anything, hit me up at jdavis@astrotesla.com.
There it is. And, of course, you can reach me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at GHawkins. That's GHawkins with the Z. Lemonade out of lemons. Make sure I correct myself. And, of course, hit us up via email, technocrats@thesphere.tv. Shoot us that email. We want to know what you think about the show. Subscribe, review, share, and donate. It's been another great episode of Technocrats. We will see you all next time. Take care.